Hello.
Hi.
Kia ora, ahiahi pai, and welcome to Ask the Unicorn. I'm Ahura Z, your host this evening, and this is my lovely daughter, Nirakazi. Say hello.
Hello.
No, we're having a Polynesian language.
Our Polynesian language
Yes.
off. Olau Kazi Kalinoa, Ame Koumakua Kane, or Ahura Z Deliza. Aloha, ahi ahi o. Good evening to all of you. My name is Nirakazi, and this is my dad, Ahura Z Deliza. In Hawaiian, Olilo.
Kotako tamahine kazi tene. That's in Tereo. And welcome to Ask the Unicorn. I will answer questions of a metaphysical, paranormal, mystical, and a spiritual nature. However, there are two types of questions that I do not answer, and that is whether or not someone is going to die or whether or not someone is cheating on someone. If you want to ask those kinds of questions, you should probably deal with the people that you're asking about. Other than that, almost any question is fair game. Now, if you're going through something, you can ask questions about that, and I'll do my best to give you the quickest possible solution. I'll try to make it very, very simple. I'm kind of like a farmer. I shoot straight from the hip, and that's what I always tell people, and your questions will be answered. So before we get into the show this evening, however, I would like to give a shout out to all of my filmmaking colleagues, my independent filmmaking colleagues that are in the New England area. They're working very diligently to bring you wonderful entertainment. That would be Paco Seth Roberts, Alan Dillingham, Bill McLean, just to name a few, and myself, Ahura Z Deliza. And we're working tirelessly to bring you something other than what Hollywood gives you, which is the same old stuff over and over and over again. And if you start to notice it, they throw a superhero movie at you. Now, that being said, I'm looking forward to a very wonderful show this evening. I'm here. The unicorn is in. I'm listening. What have you got for me?
Well, we're having a delay here. She's putting it up right now, so we have been told to stall for a little bit. Shout outs go to Amy, Natalia, Keith, Carrie, Stephen, and Shayna.
Hello, all of you. Welcome to the show. And I'm looking for a great show this evening. We have some very special people that are watching, that are listening, and I'm hoping to get some wonderful discussion going on tonight. Now, we've been told to stall a little bit just because of Mercury, jerk, being retrograde.
Shout out to Tavares, Tamika, Smiley, and Kat.
Hello.
All right, we have SG1. We have a go.
Yes, that's right.
Chevron 6 encoding.
This will be a frillin' awful show.
Frillin' awful.
That's like reverse talk. You know, frill is a substitute word.
I know.
Anybody watch Farscape besides me? I kind of messed that interest up, but
totally did.
Frillin'.
Wow, they're already
awesome
talking about
show.
the cosmic octopus.
Oh, you guys are talking about the cosmic
Naria
octopus.
says she told them she's going to be making a shirt.
Yes, there are going to be T-shirts, Cosmic Octopus T-shirts,
From the unicorn
for all of
color.
you empaths out there. Yeah, just grab other people's feelings without even thinking about it.
Okay.
And Lane, sit down.
Oh, she's trying to
Leave her alone.
She's trying to get under your feet.
Yep. And so, what do you have this evening? Is there anything that anyone has that is pressing?
Yeah, excuse me. We have Angie Chandler sent in a question.
Hi,
She
Angie.
says, describe the love in your heart at the moment you read this. I don't know why, but this is what came to me around noon Central Time today. What?
Describe the love in my heart.
That's what it says. Describe the love in your heart at the moment you read this.
Okay.
I don't know why, but this is what came to me around noon Central Time today.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
The love in my heart? To describe it? That's the thing about love, is it really can't be described. If you can describe it, then you miss the point. How about we say this, that the love in my heart knows no bounds. So I guess that's the best way to describe it. I never really think about describing it. I just be it, what's in my heart. You know, so if you want me to give it a real cheesy name, I can do that for you. It's unicorn love.
Oh yeah, that's all I could hear.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
70s saxophone friggin'. Yes.
You know, so
70s disco.
that's just the way that I think about it. I have enough love for this whole universe, so it really can't be described because it changes all the time. You know, it depends on what's needed. I'm a soldier of love.
I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously. I keep hearing the disco narrative.
I'm a soldier of love.
With the cheesy saxophone. Oh my
Come
god.
on. I hope that helps out.
Uh,
Listen, when it comes to love, the best thing for you to do is just to be open and accepting. Okay? Open, accepting, and you are the one with the muscle. You're the one that's supposed to push the car out of the road. So if someone needs a little bit of love, you are the one that's supposed to show it to them. That's the way that I think about it.
Scoochies. Scoochies. Kirk via email says, I heard a bell ringing a couple nights ago at 12:05 a.m. just outside of my... Where'd it go? Just outside of my room.
Okay?
I was the only one home. What do you think that is?
That bell usually gives a connotation of a message. If it was a clear bell, then it has to do with something positive. Maybe someone was trying to get through to you. And that could be even someone physically that you may have been thinking about, or they may have been thinking about you, and they're just kind of sending their thoughts to you. On a spiritual level, it could mean that there's someone upstairs that is either looking out for you and they just wanted you to know that, or they just had a brief message for you. Now, when you get that kind of thing, this is the best thing for you to do. The moment that you hear that bell, don't just go, a bell, you know. Ask yourself what's going on in your head right at that very moment. You hear the bell. Wait a second. See the first thoughts that come to your mind. I mean, really, before you go spouting them off, think about them. Let them just kind of roll around in your head. See where they lead you. Sometimes you can hear that bell, and that bell is a heralding. It's a preamble. It's like depending upon the sound of the bell, it could be something that is heralding an event. It could be perhaps you need to do something. It could be a summoning or a calling to. You know, in old times in churches, big churches, they would ring a tiny bell just before the call to prayer, and it was called the angelus. So it could even be an angelic presence that is talking to you, that is kind of letting you know that it's there, and perhaps that moment in time is a good time to say a prayer. Listen, I know that we get very, very busy in our lives. It takes about that long to say a prayer. I know that you get, busy trying to do this, trying to make this happen, trying not to let this happen, trying to make other things go forward, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when you hear that bell, perhaps it's there for you to take a moment, say a brief prayer, and then go on your way, because it could be that you're the one that needs the prayer, or someone else needs the prayer, and the universe just decided to have you be the brand of prayer that they need. We like to categorize a lot of things, but God uses who God wants to at any moment in time. And the bottom line is this: if God decides you're going to be used, guess what? You're going to be used. So perhaps at that moment, you'll get the opportunity again. When you hear that wonderful bell, think about it. Stop. Say a prayer. Cover your bases. And then move on. Now, there's an interesting thing that happens. You can tell the difference between that which is positive and that which is negative. Usually, if there's a negative vibration that is trying to get in touch with you, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a broken bell, or like a piece of cracked glass, kind of like tapping a knife on a piece of cracked glass or a cracked cup. It's the nature, the sounds of them is very, very clear, so you'll be able to tell. But that particular moment, take that particular moment to stop anything that you may be doing and just say a prayer, move on. If you're in a negative mood, you hear that bell, that's your perfect out. Okay? If you're in a positive mood and you hear that bell, that means you have enough positivity to carry whatever message is being sent to you. If you are neither one of them, good opportunity for you to jump on the train. It's just how it is. I will choose not to be cheesy at this moment. Hell, I'm gonna do it anyway. Could be the love train.
Let's go with Soul Train. That's a great show. That's how I learned how to dance.
We will not speak of Soul Train, thank you.
Oh, Soul Train what? 1989?
Shut up.
89?
Shut up.
Was it 89? It was, wasn't it?
I'm not telling you. Anyway, what else you got for me?
We have people asking in regards to the bell.
Yes. What do you got?
Hold on.
I think that was a really cool name for the call to prayer, the Angelus. That's just awesome. It's a little crystal bell. That was right, the Angelus.
Kat said, speaking of bells, what about flashes of light?
Well, flashes of light could be a lot of things. It depends on what happened. Like, where did you see the flash of light? What were you doing at the moment? What was the nature of that flash? Was it a certain color? It could mean a lot of things. Light works the same as sound when it comes to a message or a caution or a warning or even a blessing. So start to pay attention. The chances are that you all have seen these things for a long time, yet you're just recently starting to question them. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So now it should give you the impetus to pay attention to what it is that you're seeing. You're probably seeing things forever and never really thought about them, never really questioned them. Even when you were a child, you saw this and thought it was totally natural. And now that you're an adult, you're learning to keep your feet on the ground, and you see something like this, you're going, what was that? What did it mean? Well, there's a pretty good chance that it meant the same thing as when you were a child. Remember when you believed in angels, when you knew that they were real, when you knew that there were other beings besides us here on this earth? This earth is really boring party, okay? Seriously.
Party ever.
Okay, like it shouldn't even have the term party attached to it. Okay, so, but you see these things and you never really think about them. Now you're thinking about them. That means that you're awake. So start really thinking about it. I just saw a flash of light. What side was it on? Was it on my left side? Was it on my right side? Was it up? Was it down? Did it happen physically? Did it not happen physically? There's a very little difference between that which happens physically and that which happens non-physically. If it is pertaining to you and your situation, you just have to be the one that determines if it does have any definition. Maybe if you see something on the left, that means that you need to go left or think on that particular side. Think more creatively about things. Maybe if you see it on the right, maybe you need to get your feet on the ground and think more constructively about things. The bottom line is that you have both. We all have both sides to us. We can be extremely creative and we can be extremely analytical and constructive. And if we bring them together, that forms a very not only the nature of creativity or the nature of creation, it also forms the architecture of creativity, so that we're the whole person. So you really think about these things, really give it some thought. Don't just let it be a flash of light. You went outside and you saw a star or something streak across the sky and it stayed just a little too long to just be a meteor shower or something, or it turned left and went backwards, and you say, oh, that could be a UFO, and you go about your business. What do you mean that could be a UFO? It obviously was, because you couldn't explain it, nor could you identify it. Therefore, it was, technically speaking, an unidentified flying object. Shouldn't it be called, well, once you identify it, it's no longer unidentified.
But I think the whole point is that they don't know what it looks like because it's so far away.
But if they're the ones that saw it, it looked like a star. It looked like a flash of light. It looked like a swirly thing that just, looked like a crescent cookie. You're the one that's going to determine. And trying to explain that to someone that did not see it is nearly impossible.
Kat says it was during the day. It was white like a camera flash, and a quarter out of the corner of her eye.
Okay. What were you doing? Where were you? See, all of those things have to be answered. If you really want to investigate one of your paranormal experiences, you have to ask every single question about it. Okay, you saw someone floating past you. Okay, how many Skittles did you eat? You have to ask even those questions. Did you get enough rest? Are you hungry? Are you depressed? Did you just take a medication? You have to go through all of those things. And it does not mean that what you saw isn't real. It means that you are covering all of your bases so that when someone asks you what it is that you saw, you are able to explain to them in a sane way, in a grounded way, what you saw. And that makes it irrefutable. In other words, whatever it is that you are experiencing cannot be questioned by those people that call themselves skeptics, because they weren't there. You were there, and you're explaining it in a lucid fashion. So you have to ask these questions, not only of the experience, but yourself witnessing the experience. So yeah, I'll ask you these questions.
She said in class.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right, you were in class. Now that could have been a lot of things. It could have been a physical thing. Maybe someone flashed something, or maybe you had multiple choices of an answer that you were doing. Most likely if you were in a test and you chose one answer and you got a flash of light, I would go with the answer that you chose, that the flash of light was accompanying. Or perhaps it was a term or something that you needed. Really think about those things. I take every single thing into consideration. I'm working on something, and then a flash of light happens when I reach this conclusion. I'm going to go with that conclusion. Okay, there's a pretty good chance that that's going to be the right conclusion, and you really have to think about that. Remember, the first forms of teaching had absolutely nothing to do with science or technology. The first forms of teaching had to do with your intuition and your spirituality, your lineage. You hear people say, I'm a scientist, I'm old school. That's not old school. Science is not old school.
It's a horrible line.
Okay, science is new school. Old school says you go with your gut.
Divine sciences.
Exactly. There are divine sciences, but they call them divine sciences. They're actually just art and intuition, how things are supposed to be, the whole spirit of things. If you take both of them, then you come out with a very powerful tool of learning and development. So the next time you get that, and if it happened, did she say it happened to her left?
She didn't say what side it happened. What side did it happen?
I'm just assuming it happened to her left. Okay, so if it happened to your left, then that means that you need to be more creative about something. Happens to your right, it means that you either responding from a memory, or you need to be more constructive or analytical about things. And based upon what I know about you, I would say that a little more analysis is in order. So that should come out there. Did she give you an answer as to what she's on?
She didn't say it yet, just yet.
I don't think she remembers.
We'll find out. Bree says hi.
Hi, Bree. How are you, baby?
She says on the right.
Okay, yeah, analytical. So, on the analytical side. So you probably need to apply a little more grounding to what it is that you're going through. Be a little more analytical about things, and you'll have your right combination. So perhaps that's what the flash of light is trying to tell you. Okay, so what else have we got?
Oh,
People being quiet because we were talking about the cosmic octopus and the flashy things.
Questions. I'm just going, because Heath wants to get you ranting.
Now, I'm not going to rant about anything. I'm answering questions.
He says, hey, brother, I hate to get you going on chemtrailing, but what do you think of this really weird weather?
Oh, exactly what I always think about the weird weather is that this weather is manufactured. It is manufactured by what it is that they're spraying in the air. And actually, to tell you the truth, I think that they're purposefully poisoning us, and they know that they're purposefully poisoning us. And anyone who is not paying attention is choosing to be ignorant. And that's not ignorance. The moment that you choose not to know something, that's not ignorance. That's stupidity. Okay, you have to really look at what's happening. to us. They're talking about this Zika virus, and I believe that they're actually spraying the elements that cause the Zika virus. And I do also believe that they are putting out in these black chemtrails, they're putting out things that are causing a mass infection of bugs.
Yeah.
You know, ticks, mosquitoes, things like that. And I think that they're making them more resistant to pesticides. That's what I think. I think that they're causing things like the flu. Is very simple and very easy to do. If you really start thinking about these things and start using your right mind, you'll find this out. You'll find that it's very easy to contaminate a whole populace of people. I mean, look at how resilient bug larvae is, insect larvae is. It's very easy to drop a bunch of things and then blame it on something else, call it a virus, or call it an infection, or call it an epidemic, and then be the people to come in with some formula so that they'll have an excuse to spray neurotoxins and other things that will condition you by saying, well, this is to treat the Zika virus. Or what is it, LePage called it? The Ziki fly.
What?
That guy's got about 2.5 cents worth of brain, seriously. But you really have to ask some questions. There is no reason for that to happen, for them to go and mess with the weather. Let the weather be what it is. And anybody who believes that we're overpopulated in this world, really, seriously, you need to have your head examined. There's no overpopulation. It is a ploy to give those people that have a whole lot of money more and give you just this little corner of someplace and then tell you it's about overpopulation. Seriously, if you got over 1,000 acres of land where you could probably house 1,000 families, look how big this world is. And there's about 2% of the people in the whole populace that own maybe about 60% of that. That's just absolutely ridiculous. 60 to 70% about that. That's just ridiculous. And they're talking about, one, global warming. Look, logically speaking, spiritually speaking, astronomically speaking, and just with a simple brain, this earth is built on pressure. That means electromagnetism, pressure, it expands, it contracts, it breathes. It is a living thing. That whole global warming thing, everybody just totally swallowed that and didn't question it the way that it needed to be questioned. They're spraying chemtrails all over the place so that they can block out the rays of the sun and bounce them back towards the sun. How stupid do you have to be to actually believe that? That causes a greenhouse effect. It doesn't stop a greenhouse effect. It causes a greenhouse effect. You have constant cloud cover, greenhouse effect. Did that not down on anyone? We all just kind of believe that whole man, bear, pig theory of, global warming, it's cereal, and everybody just jumped on this stupid bandwagon. It's just absolutely ridiculous to be spraying chemtrails first off and then tell everyone that it's just contrails. They lied about it. The moment that they lied about it, everyone should have jumped off of that train. 2, there's no black contrails in anyone's book. I don't care what you think about it. Okay. And 3rd, the fact that there have been planes that have landed with someone forgetting to turn off the chemtrail thing should have totally disproved that whole contrail theory. Contrails can happen on the ground too, I guess, right? You really have to question them. We know that they've been testing pharmaceuticals and pesticides and all these things to see what the effects will be on certain people. You know that there's actual footage of it. It's not doctored footage. It's not made up. It's real. They've been trying to find a way to curb certain groups in having children, but they haven't figured this out. That every single one of us, all of us, every single person, I don't care what you think your lineage is, I don't care where you think you came from. If you came from this earth, guess what? All of you are African. Every last one of us.
Yes.
Okay? Every single one of us is African. And I don't care what you try to prove, what you try to disprove, what you think will happen. So basically, if you wipe out one section of us with an insecticide or whatever, you're going to wipe out everybody. Why? Because we have the basic root structure of that person that gave birth to all of us. And that's just a fact. And you would think that science would understand that and know that, but no, they're science. So they come along and they name stuff that's already been named, name it something different, and then claim the glory for it. Sorry, what?
You lost me at man, bear, pig.
I'm talking about Al Gore, you know, man, bear, pig. Whoa.
Whoa.
You know, so you know, you really have to start thinking, and we all have to start thinking for ourselves. We really need to stop a lot of things. Think about it just for a second. You know that Monsanto is actually poisoning all of our foods, but this is what I think that they're doing. What I think that they're doing is they're actually have part and parcel of the whole chemtrail thing, along with that devil man, Bill Gates. They spray something in the air, but their seeds have been genetically engineered so that their seeds can withstand what it is that they are spraying, but it affects everybody else. It affects them on 3 different fronts. One, it keeps the weather in a state of flux so you can't plant. Okay? You'll go through a warm spell and it's wonderful planting, all of a sudden it's cold. Kills your plants, kills your seeds. Okay? And then they come along, spray their seeds all over the place. It gets mixed in with everybody else's seeds, and they sue them for having their seeds. That's just a bass-backwards type of a country. You know, seriously. Everybody else has decided, no, we don't want Monsanto. You have to ask yourselves, why are we not doing the same thing? Because it's affecting all of us. It really is. You have to watch and you know, you really have to watch what you're putting into your body. Seriously. Okay? All of you people that decide to go to things like McDonald's and Burger King, you know, I was guilty of that too, you know, because McDonald's makes some great burgers, you know, they just taste really good. But, you know, I stopped that madness and so forth. And you have an opportunity to learn how to grow your food. 2, stop paying Walmart for everything, okay, just because they make it a few pennies less. There are a lot of local businesses that could use your help. Okay, not only in Maine, but all over the world. Everybody else has gotten wise to this. They've kicked those bastards out, and we're still messing around with them. Well, you know, I really like the mac and cheese. Well, get some cheese and make some noodles and be creative. Find something to do. You know, that's going to help yourselves. You have to start thinking about that. These people don't care about us. They really don't. They don't care about us. They will poison you. They will find every kind of disease to inject you with, to spray on you, to put in your food, to put in your water, and then tell you that it's your fault for eating it. It's your fault for drinking it. It's your fault for not learning everything that you needed to know about the devil so that you could defeat him. Well, you know something? You have the opportunity. Don't go messing around with a lot of things like that. If you know that it's been genetically altered, why screw with it? Because it's a pretty pink color? I don't get it. Question every single thing. You know what they're doing. They tell you what they're doing, and they tell you they don't care what you think about it. I always said, you know, we need like an alien invasion so that everybody can see the point. Or maybe we...
Zompocalypse!
You know, I mean, and that brings up a whole nother thing, but I'm going to hold off on that just for a second because I know that there are people that have other questions. And, you know, I try not to get into ranting, but...
He did it. It's Heath's fault. He knew what he was doing.
So what else you got for me?
Shea says, what is the difference between dreaming in color versus dreaming in black and white?
Okay, this is a really easy difference. Dreaming in black and white means that whatever it is that you're dreaming with or dreaming about or dealing with is very far off. Dreaming in color means that it's up close. So if you go on a timeline, you can say, okay, I dreamt about a tornado. That is very far off, so it's in black and white. And that's really the way that it is. You hear people say all the time, well, I only dream in black and white. But the truth is, you probably dream in color too, you just don't remember it. Now, if you have a dream that stands out for you and it's in color, that means that there's something imminent that's about to happen. Imminent could mean within a month or 2, 3, you know, just near to you. That means it's coming. Now, when you see something black and white, that means that you have more change. If you don't like what it is that you saw, you have the opportunity to change it. You always do. Even if it's something imminent, you have an opportunity to change the outcome of it. And you may not be able to change it huge, but you can change it minutely. And if you change it small or subtly, that subtle will shift other gears to make the whole change. I teach my students that if you had a really bad dream, or there's a dream about a monster that is chasing you, and you can remember what it is that you wore in that dream, if you happen to have that article of clothing, get rid of it. You'll have changed the outcome. That's actually the way that it works. It's so simple. It's pitiful. But of course, you get a lot of people that will say, oh, well, your dreams are this. And science says your dreams are merely the stuff of your imagination suiting itself to whatever it is that you've gone through. But in truth, listen, most psychologists really don't know diddly squat. And those people that call themselves scientists, they're just looking to make a buck. They really don't care about you. Now, that's on the whole, and that's modern and popular science, you know, like that guy, what's his name? Tyson DeGrassi. That guy is a douche.
Pluto hater.
The guy is just a douche, okay? You know, so they figure that their education actually qualifies them to decide how things are. But listen, it does not take a genius to know that if you fall asleep under a tree full of ripened apples, one of them might hit you in the damn head, okay? And get up and call it a whole theory of gravity. Give me a break. It should have been a theory of common sense, you know, but hey, we fall for just about everything, you know, so you really give those things some thought, okay? Really think about things. Hope that helps you out. What else have you got?
Bree has a question.
Hi, baby. What have you got?
She says, why is it that people have deja vu?
Well, let's see. We've covered this several times, but I'll do it again for you. When you have a deja vu, it's because another version or a parallel dimensionality of yourself is actually coming close enough for you to be able to see that dimensionality. Remember, there could be thousands of versions of you, okay? You hear people talking about past lives all the time. Well, they never really ask me about their future lives or their lateral lives, but they'll talk about past life. What was I? You know, not what am I going to be, or what am I in another dimension? Well, guess what? These things, the world does not, and I mean the spiritual world does not just go linearly. It actually runs in a 360-degree reality, and I mean full 360-degree globally. And that basically means that perhaps there's one experience that you and a dimensionally separated version of you is going through, and you're both meeting on several different places, and you get close enough where you feel each other. Now, there's a reason that you don't. And that's a really long explanation, but you actually, for that moment, join each other in your memory and in your energy and in your psyche, okay? So you see what that person has gone through, and it's so close to what you're going through or you have gone through that you say, I remember this. And it's not that you remember it, because you don't. You are experiencing it, but it's not you that's experiencing it. It's this you that is experiencing it, but you are one mind. Do you understand? So let's say that there's 1,000 different Brees, right? And you're all doing different things in different dimensions. And all of a sudden, two of you get really close to each other, and you're kind of doing the same thing. You go, oh my God, deja vu. Okay, and that's when you get that really dizzy feeling. There's a reason for that dizzy feeling. The only thing that can happen if the two of you got in really close proximity to each other is you can't really like exist in the same time at the same moment, because that would cause a cataclysm. It wouldn't involve everybody else like you see in the movies. It would destroy everything. No, it would only do something with the two of you that happened to meet, and that in turn would gravitate the rest of you to each other, you know. So this is the thing that happens when you get two irresistibly drawn forces, okay? they smash together. And since you are actually poles, you have, let's say, north and south, south and north, or south and north, north and south. You spin, okay? And you would spin. And you would spin and spin and spin, and the rest of you would join that spin, and it would cause a giant black hole, white hole, whatever. It would cause a cataclysm, and then you would wink out of this whole realm of existences. Now, understand that there are realms of existence, but then there are realms of existence that exist on top of these realms of existence. There's a whole bunch of things that you have to take into consideration, but it's when two of you get really close and you're sharing the same experience, you can talk to that other person that is you, that's close to you, but you have to time it just right. The only problem with that is your whole neurology goes for a loop. It's like you get this feeling that goes, you know, and you don't really think about those things. But if you have enough control and enough discipline, you can. And at that moment, you'll have to decide whether or not that's the reality that you want to live. Because if you swap information, you'll swap energy. And if you swap energy, you'll swap experiences. And you may not want that experience. This is why it's a good thing, but it can be a kind of a messed up thing simultaneously. Really. There have been instances where people have seen their own doppelgangers or just missed their own doppelgangers, you know. And the thing to do, if you happen to just miss your doppelganger, knowing that your doppelganger has come to that particular place, it's best for you to just vacate and never go there again. Okay. If you want to stay existent on this planet, or at least on this planet, dimensionality, because this planet Earth has a dimensionality to it. It's many, many dimensions. That's why you can move so freely throughout dimensions. I know that's a complicated explanation, and it would take me another 10 hours to actually qualify it, but I hope that helps you.
Okay, Stephen has a question.
Sure.
He says, "Hey, Ahura, I've been considering growing my hair in locks for various reasons, although I don't know that it'd complement my cranial shape, LOL. What are your thoughts? Is this an appropriate choice?"
I think whatever choice you decide to do to be your signature is an appropriate choice. Just like I have my signature, and you know, my braids are specific. Your locks need to be specific to you, and you'll be fine. It'll suit you just fine, and it will also make sense that you have them. Okay, you'll get it. It will make absolute sense. And you know, there are a lot of people that may think what they think, but you can't really go with what they think. You have to go with your ordinance, and your ordinance says that you need those. Okay, so go full into it. Full speed ahead, young man.
My ordinance says I need tattoos.
All right, what else? Hope that helps you out, Steve.
MNK asks a question. Do you know how to effectively deal with geopathic stress in the home? Can it be dealt with energetically, or
Yes.
must it be mitigated physically, i.e. copper rods?
It can be dealt with energetically. You might look into feng shui and see what you can find there, but there are things that can be dealt with energetically. There might be something in your land or in your home that does not jive with the rest of the energy in the home. Okay, this is where a lot of people make their mistake by bringing things into their home, and it winds up making the home sick, or it causes a toxic environment. You know, we all want to help each other thrive, and there are a lot of yard sales that people go to. But if you're going to bring something into your home from a yard sale, what you might want to do is make sure that it's totally clean and clear of that previous vibration. And it won't hurt whatever it is that you bought to leave it outside and put it through a ceremony of cleansing so that it can exist in your home, because you don't want your home vibration disturbed by something else coming in. Geologically speaking, if you're going to get into geomancy, then understand that copper does help, but it's totally ineffective if you don't place it right. So you have to find out what the shifting energy patterns of your land is. You know, how is your house set? Is it set facing the north? Is it set facing the south, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Because there may be a lot of stones that would help it. This is what I tell people. People like to walk around with crystals, you know, and that's fine. But one of the best things that you can do to make sure that your whole domicile is clear is to place those particular crystals in the earth where they came from. They'll do their job the best, and you'll also be helping the earth around your home out. Find out the history of your home or the place that you are. See if something happened that needs to be cleaned and cleared. There are people that are capable of doing so. I'm one of those people, but I'm sure there are a lot of very talented people wherever you are that would be willing to come out and not just bless the home. You see, we always talk about blessing the home, but you have to banish whatever negativity that there is and then set up your shielding to protect the home before you start blessing things. Otherwise, what happens is you take whatever's there, you know, you bless it there and it stays in your home. And this is just the fact. This is where this elevated form of physics comes from. Remember, if you want something to be out of your home, you have to get it out. You can't seal it in so that it stays. See, this is these details that people forget all the time. Banishment, protection, shielding, blessing. Got it? Because then the only thing that can come into your home is what you allow into your home. So there's a lot of things that can be done. You can find out if your home is on a ley line and then assist it, you know, help it to cleanse things. Maybe your home is just mad at you. Your house has a spirit. It just does. It takes care of you. Have a talk with those energies that are there. See if they can tell you something. It's okay to communicate with your home. People talk to their cars all the time. Heck, I talk to my music equipment. I talk to my camera. I talk to my instruments. I talk to my swords. You know, I don't talk to my shotgun anymore because I watched Bleach and it kind of creeped me out. It was like, Sebastian. No, it was Kenichi. Sebastian, come
forth, Sebastian.
You know, so you might start bonding with your home so that it can do what you ask it to do. You know, start talking to the spirits that are there. Determine if there are negative spirits or if they're positive spirits. Because if there are positive spirits that are going to help you, you want to build a relationship with them. Don't be afraid of them. They're protecting your home. You know, if they're negative spirits, you want them out. You know, you just do. And then you contact a person like me and we make sure that they get out. And then you won't have any problems.
Speaking of,
yes,
Jamie from East Coast Ghost Trackers is watching.
Hey, Jamie, what's up, man?
Hello.
Jamie Doobie is watching. He's the leader of, co-owner of one of the paranormal groups that I think actually do it right. And they are East Coast Ghost Trackers, and they're here in Maine. And they're a very good and efficient group. And if you need an investigator, you might, and you're in the Maine area, you might think of contacting them. They'll come in and do a full investigation. You know, there are those that are investigators, there are those that are exorcists like myself, and psychic policemen like myself. Now, a psychic policeman is someone that breaks spells, stops vampirisms, does uncrossings, does land blessings, cleansing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we stop crimes that are done. If someone is intentionally focusing bad magic on you, I will break their contact and also unplug their ability to hurt anyone else. Yes, I have that ability. Yes, and there are a lot of very interesting groups. There are some good groups in the world that are paranormal investigators. Then there are charlatans. There are people that are just pretenders. They found a camera and decided that made them a paranormal investigator. Just like there are a lot of people that go around saying that they can do readings, or they do readings and they really are not capable of doing a reading. All they'll do is make up a bunch of stuff and tell you what they think you want to hear. I have met many good readers, and I've met many people that were not capable of reading. They may have had some good intentions, but you really have to watch out for who you allow into your home to do an investigation and who you get a reading from. You know, There are some people that love to do readings. I know a couple. Stephen is one of them, and Shayna, good medium, and they all love to do readings just to help people, to help them find their way in life and find their way in their spirit. However, there are people out there that will actually vampirize you because they know the law of exchange says that for everything that is given, there must be an exchange. And if you don't decide on what that exchange is, the universe will decide for you, or the person that is giving you the service can decide. And this is what we call psychic predators that you have to watch out for. Make sure that the person that you are going to for your services has your best interest at heart, always. When I first started doing readings, I just wanted to help people and read them. And then I learned that law of exchange, and I make sure that I get something for my readings. And that way it just breaks the connection. Those that insist on not doing a reading for you and not wanting anything for it, or not accepting anything for it, you have to be a little leery of it, even if their intention is good, because the law of exchange will make a change. You really don't want that. You want to be the one that decides on exchange. There have been people that didn't have money at all, any money at all, and I would ask them if they had a piece of paper that they could give me, so there was a physical exchange. So you might take that in consideration. But if the group that you have come in and they are argumentative, if one of them is emotional, if there is any doubt, if they seem very scary and are not confident at all, or not professional at all, you don't want them in your home. Okay, doing any kind of investigation at all. Okay, if they tell you that everything is a little girl who's in pain, you don't want them in your home at all. They're making it up. Okay, there could be a little girl in pain, but every ghost is not a little girl in pain. Okay, you have to, if they come in, they will ask you every question that needs to be asked from the bottom up before they even get to the esoteric. I have walked in, and I make this joke all the time. I walked in and saw a woman was talking about, she thought her son was, possessed by something. And I walked in his bedroom and all I saw were Skittles wrappers. He was possessed by the spirit of Skittles, and you really have to ask things like that. There may be arguments that are going on in the home that leave an energy. There may be a whole bunch of other things. So you really need to ask your investigator some questions. And if they're a good investigator, they will answer you. Okay. So that's a long-winded explanation, but yes. I'm long-winded.
Yes, you are.
Okay, what else have you got?
We have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Michelle says, hi there.
Hi there.
When you see these flashes of light, colors, or other things, is it someone showing you as in a guide or your higher self?
It could be one or both. One or both. Or it could be someone else's higher self that decided to show you. Or maybe we put a lot of emphasis on that word your and my. And understand that any one of the gigantic family that is of the spirit can be passing by and just happen to see that you need something, decide to show you. That doesn't make them your guide. It merely makes them a being that, or an entity or an energy that decided that it was going to take that particular opportunity to make you aware of something. And on the other end, there could be something very, very negative. Either way, your guides or the guides at large will make you aware of it. So remember, this is the whole point. We are all one, which means that you have tons of help if you're just willing to listen. And if one of your totems is speaking to you, it's a good idea to listen. Very good idea. What else we got? Hi, Michelle. How are you? We'll talk soon.
Shayna says, so what's the difference between astral traveling versus dreaming?
Okay, dreaming takes place on the 8th dimension. Astral travel takes place on the astral realm, which is where a person should not be if you have a body. The astral realm is reserved for those people that need to learn a lesson about respecting the spirit of life, the very embodiment of life. And a lot of times when we go into the astral realm, it could be by accident, and that's fine, okay? Because you'll be taken back out. Your dreams, you don't leave to go anywhere. You don't leave your body unattended to go anywhere. Your dreams happen while you're there, and you're unconscious or maybe conscious, and you can be fully lucid in your dreams, because I often am. Your dreams are in that realm where your dreams and nightmares happen. And that's on the 8th dimension, the dimension of karmic returns and karmic retribution, you know, and it's very, very wide. Now, for the most part, you can't really think of them as separate. They're all whole. However, your astral body is made to make sure that the rest of your body stays where it is on this earth, you know, and stays intact. And the moment that you start going somewhere in your astral body, there is a decay that happens with your physical body. The longer you're out, the more that you're out, the more that your body loses cohesion. Your physical body loses cohesion. You're supposed to stay in your physical body. You can travel all over the universe with your mind. You can travel all over the multiverse with your soul body, because your soul is part of the grand soul, and that ground soul can be anywhere at any time in several different places, you know. So your dream realm, 8th dimension, if you want to get technical about it, astral self, astral realm. Now, the spiritual realm transcends all of them. It just does. And you want to stay in your body. I know that people get lured out by the unique experience of the astral realm. And the astral realm does offer a lot of answers, but so does the spiritual realm. Understand that in the spiritual realm, the dream realm, and the astral realm, and the etheric realm, and the solar realm, there really is no time and space. The only place that time and space actually exists is in this physical realm. It's because the vibration of it is so very, very, very slow. Very slow. I mean, we have to put things in our mouth to eat, and we look really goofy doing it. You know, you ever see someone try to look cute eating?
Eating what?
You can't look cute eating.
I'm not trying to look cute.
No one
when
can.
I'm eating because I like food, and
No, I've seen people try to look, you know, luring and
seductive
pretty while
they're eating.
Yes, seductive while you're eting spaghetti. You look like you're eating a bunch of pasta worms.
In the end, you still look like a snail eating.
You know, so those dimensions are there for us to learn. However, there are some places that you are not meant to go if you're in a physical body. And I'm telling you, trips to the astral realm may seem like a lot of fun, but eventually your body will begin to deteriorate, and there will be an astral influence on you. You ever hear that really creepy thing that people like to say in movies? If you look into the abyss looks into you.
If you build it, they will come.
Well, if you keep finding the astral realm there are beings from the astral realm that will find you. And that they're hard to get rid of once they're on this other side, and you make an agreement with them to be. And they're very tricky, because remember, they know everything that you're thinking, so they can pretend to be whatever it is that you want them to be, just for the sake of making a bond with you. Because the moment that you make a bond with them, and they're giving you all of this wonderful stuff, and they're giving you this temporary ID, like if you go to BJ's and they give you a temporary BJ's card, you know, you get into BJ's, you have to see all this wonderful stuff, and then eventually they're going to want you to spend some money. And in your case, the money is energy. And then they will attach to that energy. I've seen it happen so many times. And, you know, by people that said, oh, no, I can handle it. I'm not addicted at all. It'll be okay. But, you know, the astral realm is just as addicting as any drug. In fact, more so. These are the things that you can look for. If you make constant trips to the astral realm, you will begin an alienation process. All of a sudden, you will not want to be around people, and people will see that you're alienating them. You'll notice little physical maladies that happen constantly, all the time. You can't really explain them. You'll become very listless when it comes to dealing with things on a physical nature of this world and the things that you need to take care of. And then you want to do nothing but sleep. And then you'll wonder if you're depressed. You're not depressed, but you'll wonder if you're depressed because your energy is always very low. That's because there's an attachment in the astral realm that is slowly draining energy from you because you volunteered your energy by going into the astral realm time and time again. And then all of a sudden, all you really want to do is go into the astral realm because you'll feel that it's a much better place than this. And there's when you are in the water too deep. There's when your boat is out to shore because you out offshore because you have allowed that entity or that energy to talk you into being way the hell out there in the astral realm with no way back. And then people here will notice that you're always someplace else. And then someone will call me and I will not be pleased. Okay. Because that means I have to go in there and get you. And it's not a pleasant thing. So you probably don't want to do that.
She was just asking what the difference was.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I had to tell you what the difference was.
You ranted.
I didn't rant. I just told her what the difference was.
We have more questions. Moving on. Bree wants to know.
Shayna understands me. Why
do some ghosts want to haunt people? Bree wants to know.
Well, why do some people here want to mess with you? Remember, they don't lose their mind. They lose their body. You know, some ghosts think it's cute, you know, or they think it's fun. And they also think it's fun when you're afraid of them or when you don't believe in them or when you go hunting for, you know, a lot of people go ghost hunting, go hunting for a ghost. You know, sometimes you get that one ghost that is just a real jerk and decides that they're going to mess with you. Other times it's because someone's just being cute. You know, and other times they haunt you because of something that was done to them. Okay. Maybe someone went and violated their space and thought that they could just get away with it. You know how many people go to graveyards and kick over the headstones and steal things from graveyards and steal things from sacred sites, you know, where you're told there are signs there that say, please don't take the lava rocks. And the people will go and take the lava rocks anywhere and wonder why their lives are falling apart. Because there's a sign there that says, this is taboo. Don't take this. Okay? They warn you and say, don't take this from here. Don't mess with this. There are entities and spirits that really don't want you to do that. You know, so you kind of have to understand they react the same way as you would react if someone took something from your home. The only difference is there's no real time and space where they are, so they can follow you all over the place.
All right.
Okay, what do you got?
Steven says, also, or he has two questions.
Sure.
One is, have you heard of Damian Marley and Nas's joint album called Distant Relatives at all?
I have not.
It's all about everything you've mentioned, including our African roots, that we are distant relatives. And he says, I've had psychic dreams precognitive since I was a child, and they happen probably every night, especially with new movies I see. I've seen them in my dreams already. I have never found the reason to why I have so many precog dreams. Is it preparing me for something bigger, or what's up with that? Thank you.
It's called you developing your gift. That's why it's happening. You're having these precogs so that you can be developed, so that you can see things that are going to come, that are going to come and be able to handle the energy of it. See, those things that you're going through are like building muscle. It's just like working out. The more that you use them, the better that you are at them. Okay? So you're getting the opportunity to use them constantly so that you can get stronger and stronger and stronger at them. So that when something is coming up, you won't miss it. And you'll be able, and hopefully you'll be up on your education so that you're able to describe what it is that you can, what it is that you're seeing. You have no idea how many people see something, but they can't really say what they're seeing because they don't have the words for it. Listen, I carried around a dictionary, and she can tell you I'm really good at dictionary. I had a thesaurus. I've read the dictionary 4 times, you know, and that's so I could be able to say what I mean and mean what I say. And if I saw something, I'd be able to describe it for you. So you're kind of getting that opportunity right now. I would take it for exactly for what it is. And you're right about new movies, because sometimes new movies will have little keys in them. You know, I don't mean like Captain America. I mean, like
Deadpool.
or Deadpool.
Deadpool, what?
You know, but there are movies that artist is trying to get something or has something, and they're trying to give everyone a clue about. And if you have that particular muscle that you are building, you'll be able to find it. And then you'll be able to connect the dots and build the whole picture. So consider this universal training, what you're going through right now. You have these little precogs here and there, and you've done it since you were a child, so you should be pretty good at it. Okay, now knowing this, it should make you redouble your efforts to develop that gift. And you're right to want the locks, because the locks will be your form of protection. So yeah, you're being trained.
Shayna says, how many dimensions are there, and what are the 7 spheres of existence?
Oh my God.
That's a whole...
Yeah, that's a whole dissertation. There are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dimensions. There's not just a finite number. And remember this, there are new dimensions that happen with every passing thought. You know, the 7 spheres of existence are what you call chakras. So, and that takes a whole nother explanation that we can get into. And I'll do that with you privately, but I can tell you this, there's a lot more to existence than what you think there is. Okay, but your basics can be found in each one of the chakras. Now, the chakras, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're connected to definitions, and definitions have 9. There are 9 definitions to each one of them. Okay, and it ends in self-realization and revelation. Okay, so I'll talk to you about it later.
Sorry.
What?
Sonari has a raging clue.
What?
Sonari has a raging clue.
About what?
I don't know. She said clue. To make us step, she says, I always see shadows. What do they mean?
Shadows.
That's all she said. And then she says, I am a baby at all this. What can I do to protect myself from other people's energies rubbing off on me?
Whenever someone gives you something, determine whether or not you want to take it. And if you don't want to take it, don't. But make sure that you give them something back. If you give someone something, make sure they give you something back. You'll cut the connection. Okay, that's one way to connect to protect your energy. Another thing is, if you're out and about, don't go laying on your bed in your clothes that you were out and about in. Change clothes, okay? Because you don't know who you bumped into with that energy. Make sure that you are doing things like washing your hands if you've finished dealing with people on a personal level. That goes for you energy workers and you massage artists and so forth. If you're dealing with people, make sure you wash your hands. Make sure that you're taking care of all of that negative vibration or all of the vibration that you were dealing with. Even if it's positive, it may be positive from that person, or it may be positive when you're dealing with that person, but it may not necessarily be positive when you come back to your domicile. So you want to protect your energy. 1, only allow in your house who you want to be in your house. 2, don't eat over a person's house that you don't like and you know that they don't like you. 3, don't eat at an eating establishment where the staff is unhelpful and mean. 4, make sure that you're keeping your energy and your things separate from everyone else. If there's things that you don't want to be touched, make sure that these people know that they're not to touch your things. 5, make sure that there are not things being said in your home that you don't want being said in your home, okay? Because if the person can't act the way that you need them to act, then they need to get to stepping, okay? And that's the bottom line. 6, say what you mean what you say. 7, this is really important. There are things in your life that you are going to deem sacred. Do not let other people sully your sacredness. Okay? There are things that are sacred to you. Establish a rule and let people know what your rule is. There are things that I do not joke about ever, under any circumstances. Not even lightness or anything like that. Make sure that there are rules to your existence and to your life, and make sure that people, when they talk to you, show you the respect that you are due. If someone tells you that you have to earn their respect, then you want absolutely nothing to do with that person. God gave you life. Goddess gave you life. That means that they respected you enough to allow you to breathe. Who are these other people? Okay. And lastly, if you have your peace, let it be your peace. If there are things that disturb your peace, get rid of those things. Decide on your energy. And if that energy changes, then you know that it's not yours. And be clear of it. Those are some basics. Now, that brings me to a point. I do teach classes. I teach classes on metaphysics, spirituality, psychic development, and mysticism. Loose word for it, magic. However, I do not teach for free. This is not my hobby. This is my job. Okay? And it has been my job for about 25 years. So if you'd like to take classes from me, you can go to the website at www.unicorn-cove.com or just look up Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. And you can give us a call here at area code 207-347-5686. And we can set you up for classes or a spiritual counseling or a telepathic counseling or a telepathic reading. I am what you call a telepath, among other things. I don't mind being a dork. Say what you want to, but I'm a dork that people like, including you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not a dork. I'm a nerd or a geek, whatever you want to call it.
No, you're a dork.
No, I'm a nerd.
So
I teach classes. So if you're interested in classes, if you're truly interested in classes, don't come and tell me that you're interested in classes and not be willing to learn. I do not teach by democracy. I run a dictatorship. I say you do. Okay? I will lead you to where it is that you want to go. If you make a promise to yourself, I will make sure that you keep it. By the time you are on that other side, you will have yourself to thank. I will take absolutely no credit, but if you get rich, I get bragging rights.
I was just gonna say that's not true. You always say
that's right. I get bragging rights.
The cred and I get the bragging rights.
Okay, so I am a teacher. I am not one who messes around. If you tell me that you want to get in shape physically, I will make sure you are in shape. If you tell me you want to get in shape mentally, I will make sure that you get in shape mentally. If you tell me you want to get stronger spiritually, I will make sure that you get stronger spiritually. I will get you wherever you want to go. Talking to me will be like talking to the phone of the universe. That's what they use me for. I say what they tell me to say, when they tell me to say it, and how they tell me to say it. I have a huge ego, and I'm proud of it.
Oh,
I have made friends with it. My ego understands this. My ego understands this. If I'm performing, I'm playing a game, I'm having fun, I'm dancing, singing, drawing, painting. It has full range and can do whatever it wants. However, when I'm teaching, it has absolutely no say-so. None. 99% of the time, I am wrong. The other percent of the time, I get lucky. However, the universe is never wrong, so I follow their way. So I just wanted to mention that I do teach classes. What else have you got for me?
Melissa has a question. She says, if dreaming is in the 8th dimension, how is it so easily reached as opposed to wakefulness?
Every dimension is easily reached. Every dimension. However, our reality dictates that we stay within the 3rd dimensional reality. And that's where we are. So consciously speaking, we're in this 3rd dimensional reality. However, when we're unconscious in this 3rd dimensional reality, because these 3rd dimensional biomechanical units need to recharge, they need rest. That means that The rest of those dimensions have predominance. They have serenity for a short time, but in truth, you really don't know that you're not in the eighth dimension at this particular moment. And I know that that's kind of a mystifying thing to say, but the truth is, you have to ask yourself, what is reality? And you have to be willing to explore what reality is. What dimension are you in now? I say that you're in all of them simultaneously. It's just that you're more aware of the fourth and the third dimension because of your body. So they're all easily reachable. It just depends on how much energy you're able to focus. That's the whole point of discipline. The more disciplined you are, the more aware of the eighth dimension you become. There are exercises, but even then, you have to know what it is that you're seeing, what it is that you're doing. Like when you get into the eighth dimension and you want to be lucid about it, and you discover that you are lucid, and all of a sudden you go, oh, I'm dreaming. And well, then you wake up. You have to know how to keep control. Know how to keep the energy uninterrupted. That takes discipline and it takes practice. So you live in all of them. The third is you're more aware of. But you have an imagination, you have thoughts, you have perceptions, therefore you're in the fourth. You do things on a now basis, therefore you're in the fifth. You're constantly looking to communicate, therefore you are in the sixth. We are talking about spiritual matters, and from time to time there's that eureka moment, or that moment where you feel in tune with everything, therefore you are in the seventh. There are moments of awakening, karma, synchronicity, therefore you are on the eighth. Then there is just revelation. You are in the ninth. And then there's completion. You are on the 10th. Now, we go in the other dimension or the other direction. We've already talked about the fourth, which is your perception. The third, which is your body. The second, which is the design or the architecture. And the first, which is the foundation. Beyond that is all exploration. But there are thousands. So they're all very easy. It just depends on how you use them. For instance, let's take a musician like myself. I can bring things from one form to another. Same with art. Whatever it is that I see in my mind, or whatever it is that I see, I can manifest if I have the resources, whatever it is. And I can manifest it identically to how I see it. If there's a sound or a song, I can reach and grab it and bring it all the way through to the third dimension. But it starts off in the other dimension. So I'm constantly in touch with the eighth dimension. Most musicians are. Most artists are. In fact, to create anything, you would have to be in touch with the eighth dimension because it's where your dreams and nightmares take place. So, something to think about. I hope that helps. What else have you got?
No, that's it. Tamika says, thank you so much.
You're so very welcome. I'd be more than willing to help you. Is that it?
Yes. It's
If I talk to you people to a standstill?
8:20.
Sorry. All right. I'd like to thank you all for joining us on Ask the Unicorn. Remember, tell your friends about it. The more people that you have, the more questions that you have, the more I'll be able to answer it. It just happens to be tonight that I felt like talking to you people about a lot of things. So we'll get into some discussions from time to time. I'll teach a lesson on something. And remember to write your questions down, because the type of energy that I have, a lot of people will forget their questions and then think about them later. So write your questions down, tell your friends, we'll have a grand time. So until next week, I will see you all. Please have a wonderful week and be peaceful and loving to each other. Remember, we all are one. That is the truth, and that is the way that it is. So until next week, Unicorn out.